So many ways to make brackets for the floating shelves. I myself just got some ankle bracket, and I just flattened it out. If you have already a flat piece, it's great. And I welded some threaded rod on there, and the threads from the threaded rod actually hold the wood from sliding out, so it works out nicely. I'd go with a little thicker wood than I did, because it was hard to conceal that. I did conceal it, but just keep that in mind. Whatever piece of metal you choose, make sure it's, so, you know, generally smaller than the piece of wood you have. What I'm doing here, and I'm drilling the holes for the thread rod to go in, and I spaced it out the exact same from each end. This is what I was talking about the material should have been a little bit thicker. Doesn't leave me hardly anything. It's like paper thin on either side. I fixed it later on, you'll see, but yeah, it was hard. If it had been a little bit thicker, it would have been a lot easier. So I thought I recorded this, but I didn't. So what I did was I used the router with this jig here, back and forth, to cut that out. And then I drilled out the holes inside with a little relief spacer in there. My hope was to keep the sides intact, but it's so thin that it's not happening. So I have to think of something else. In order to make it faster, I just, instead of cutting them individually, I just put them all together, lined it up through the dado set to make the knockout, and then just slice them up into individual pieces. Just makes life a little bit easier. And I had to measure it out because I had to position the hole where the screws are going to go exactly. Just keep that in mind. Oh, it's on video. This method to holding the floating shelves, it's an easier way. You don't have to do anything other than notch out those pieces and put a piece in the back so you can get a screw in there and just hook it on there. I personally like this method better, but some people don't want to see the wood on top and bottom. It's all personal preference. I actually did both ways, so it's all up to you, personal preference.